Hello there, my name is Christopher Scott, and you're watching a 5-minute introduction to the book of Hebrews. This is a series of videos that I do that basically in 5 minutes or less, I give you a really quick introduction to a book of the Bible. And today we're going to be doing an introduction to the book of Hebrews, okay? So the book of Hebrews is a New Testament book written probably before 70 AD. A lot of people say it was written definitely before 95 AD because Clement of Rome references the book of Hebrews. So definitely earlier than 95 AD. It was written probably before 70 AD because the temple in Jerusalem, the Jewish temple in Jerusalem, was destroyed in 70 AD. And the book of Hebrews makes several references to rituals at the temple and kind of states those rituals as if they're still going on and still actively being done. So a lot of people will say it was written before 70 AD. We don't know who the writer of the book is, obviously. It doesn't say. A lot of, for example, all of Paul's letters clearly say right at the beginning, I, the Apostle Paul, a slave of Christ, wrote this letter, but this one doesn't say that. So we don't really know who the author is, but that's okay. The content is still really good. The book of Hebrews was addressed to probably to a specific group of Jewish believers, meaning these were ethnic Jews or religious Jews, people that practiced the Jewish religion, but later on became Christians, okay? And a lot of people will say that because the book of Hebrews is so rich with Old Testament references, right? The book of Hebrews doesn't just kind of cite the Old Testament or quote little chunks. It has big old blocks of Old Testament quotes that the person just throws down there right in the middle of the chapter and then writes about, moves on to another chapter, throws another one in there, writes about them, talks about it, throws it. So it's pretty likely that this was a group of Jewish Christians that knew the Old Testament really well and that the author is writing to them, trying to appeal to their Jewish background and really talk to them about it. If you had one thing that you could use to describe the book of Hebrews, I would say, if you had one phrase that I would say about the book of Hebrews, it's that Christ is better. 3 words. Christ is better. The book of Hebrews kind of just focuses on the superiority of Christ. So right in the first chapter, Christ is better than the angels. Then it goes on to Christ is better than the law. Christ is better than the priest Melchizedek. Christ is better than all the Old Testament saints in chapter 11. Christ is better than all of these things. That's really what the book of Hebrews is about the fulfillment of the Old Testament through the Messiah, Jesus Christ, and how he is sufficient for our salvation. That's why the book of the Warren Wiersbe Bible Study series on Hebrews talks about how to live by faith, not by sight. That's their theme for the book of Hebrews. So, one difficult chapter that you're going to run into in the book of Hebrews is chapter 6. The first 20 verses there is going to talk about people that fall away from the faith or that walk away from the faith and how they might not be able to come back to being a Christian, right? So that's one of kind of the 5 warning passages that are in the book of Hebrews. So any commentary you get is going to talk about Hebrews 6 and some of the other warning passages that basically warn people to stay the course on their faith and continue living a righteous life. And so that's just something to be aware of. In the comments below, I'll give you a link to a thorough blog post I wrote on Hebrews 6 where I outline the 3 main views of that chapter and then my position and which view I believe is the most likely and most correct. So that's a really brief introduction to the book of Hebrews. It's 13 chapters. It's a little bit bigger than most New Testament books. If you're looking for one really good commentary on the book of Hebrews, I would recommend Be Confident, Live by Faith, Not by Sight by Warren Wiersbe. And if you want to study the book of Hebrews in a small group setting, I recommend the Wiersbe Bible Study series, Live by Faith, Not by Sight on Hebrews. I'm going to put links to both of these in the notes below, and it's an affiliate code, so I get a small commission if you click on them and buy them. So I hope this has been a helpful video for you, an introduction to the book of Hebrews. If you have any questions or thoughts or additional things you'd like to add, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section and would love to catch you again in another video as I continue to do brief introductions to the books of the Bible in 5 minutes or less. My name's Christopher Scott. Glad to get to talk with you and hope to catch you again on another video.